Hi guys, welcome back to Game Things. I'm your host for the week, Ming, and today we're gonna start off by covering the upcoming update for Destiny 2. The next update coming will be Season 18, and the devs have given us a small tease on what is coming for the next season. First up is a brand new Iron Banner mode called Eruption. Eruption is basically Clash, but with a small twist. Instead of just racking up points normally, Eruption will feature kill streaks similar to games like Call of Duty, where you can have certain perks by racking up kills without dying. In Destiny 2's case, here is how the kill streaks are going to work. Once you get 2 kills or assists in a row, you will start glowing slightly and enter a mode called Surging. Once you're in the Surging state, any kills start generating 10% super energy, 20% grenade, melee, and class energy as well. Each kill will also grant you 2 points while in that state. If you're insanely good and can rack up to 5 kills or more without dying, you then go into the Prime state. Now there are a ton of perks to the Prime state. First off, your kills now gain you 12 super energy as well as 40% grenade, melee, and class energy, plus all your kills will now get you 3 points. That's not all though. Other than buffs for yourself, the Prime state will also buff your teammates as well. Your team will gain an additional 5% super energy and 10% grenade, melee, and class energy as well. All these benefits are great and all, but there are a couple of downsides to the Prime state. First, while in the Prime state, you glow really brightly, so brightly that everyone on the map, whether enemies or allies, can know your exact location. The other downside is that, as its name suggests, you can kinda erupt. Basically, if you don't get any kills for 15 seconds, you will blow up and die, resetting your kill streak. Now of course that doesn't mean that you are dead for sure once you hit the Prime state, otherwise who would want to get to that state, right? So to counter the self-destruct mechanic, all you have to do is to get kills. By getting a kill, your time will reset back to 15 seconds and basically let you live a little longer. If you're insanely good at PvP, then you might just be able to permanently stay in the Prime state. To make things a bit more balanced for the enemy team, if they do manage to kill you while you are in the Prime state, they will be able to get 3 points. The last bit of info we have is that for the upcoming Eruption mode, there can be multiple players that are in the Prime state at the same time, but currently it is unclear on whether or not the team buffs can be stacked, as there is no mention of it by the devs at all. And we at Game Things don't want to speculate and provide the wrong info either. So be sure to subscribe to Game Things so that we can keep you guys updated when we get a confirmation on this little detail. That's all we have for this week's major news segment. Now let's move on to our flash news segment, starting off with some updates coming to existing games. The first game that we're going to cover is going to be an update for Back 4 Blood, the brand new expansion called Children of the Worm that's going to be released on August 30th. This new expansion will finally have updates to the campaign story, as the previous expansion did not have any story updates whatsoever. So that's definitely something to be excited for, as the Back 4 Blood storyline is pretty alright, not insanely good or anything like that, but it's enjoyable. Aside from the story expansion, there will also be brand new enemies and weapons for players to face and try out. Although we don't have too much info on the new enemies, we do have images for 2 of the new weapons. One of them is called Lockjaw, and based on how it looks, it should be a sniper rifle. The other weapon is a bear trap, so that's something to be excited for, as the bear trap might be pretty useful, similar to the currently existing tripwires. The last bit of new content that we will be getting is in the form of a new cleaner called Dan. There isn't much info known about the cleaner, but design wise, he looks pretty badass. All in all, the update looks pretty good, and Back 4 Blood is definitely a fun and challenging game, so if you have never tried it out before, this will be the perfect time to get into the game, and I can guarantee that you will sink in a good amount of hours into it as long as you are into games like Left 4 Dead. The other game that will be getting an update is Ascent. The upcoming Cyber Heist DLC will include a lot of brand new content for players to enjoy. First off, Ascent will finally be getting melee weapons, including things like a giant sword and a giant hammer. Aside from that, there will also be brand new post-game campaigns for players to enjoy as well. So if you have never tried the game and are looking to try it out, now would be the best time for you to get into the game. That's it for the game updates in our flash news segment. Now we are going to cover some news on upcoming games. Starting with the beta for Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2, the beta will be available for PS4 and PS5 on the 16th of September. The first 2 days of the beta will be exclusive to players that have pre-ordered the game on PS4 and PS5. The game will only be fully available for all players on PS5 and PS4 on the 18th of September. Then, starting on the 22nd of September, Xbox and PC players that have pre-ordered the game will finally be able to get early access to the beta as well. Similar to the PlayStation betas, after 2 days later, which is on the 24th, only will the beta will be available for all players on Xbox and PC. So for players that are looking to try the beta, make sure to pay attention to these dates, but don't worry, we will cover this topic again later as we get closer to the start of the beta, so be sure to stay subscribed. The next game that we are covering is Tactics Ogre Reborn, which is a remake of the original Tactics Ogre that was exclusive to the PSP. The upcoming version that is releasing on the 11th of November will finally be available for PC, PS5, PS4 as well as Switch. So for all of you guys out there that really enjoy Final Fantasy Tactics type of games, be sure to check this game out when you have the chance. The next few pieces of news will be about announcements for games that have been announced recently. First, we have a brand new title from the devs of PUBG. Currently, there is no official name for the game yet, and all we know is that the game is a fantasy game based on a Korean novel called The Bird That Drinks Tears. I personally have never read the novel before, so I don't really know what to expect, but if you ask me, I would say that if they're going to create a game based on a novel, the novel should be pretty darn good, so hopefully the game will be just as good as well. For players that really enjoy stories, you guys might want to pay more attention to this title because Korean novels tend to have pretty good storylines, so you might just enjoy this game when it's finally released. Moving on from the fantasy genre, we have confirmation of a new fighting game featuring the Fatal Fury franchise. Unfortunately, all we know is that there is going to be a new Fatal Fury game, but aside from that, we basically know nothing else. But in any case, for all of you hardcore fighting game fans out there, you guys can be hyped about this news. The next two news that we are covering is a bit of a speculation, so don't take it too seriously. First, we have news where a former writer for World of Warcraft has now joined the development team of Beyond Good and Evil 2. This might mean that the development for this title is still going on, as we haven't received much news about this title at all from Ubisoft since 2018. So hopefully with the presence of a new lead writer, we will finally get more news about the game and hopefully get confirmation that Ubisoft has not abandoned this title, because radio silence for like 4 years is pretty darn worrying. The other speculation we have is on Tomb Raider. To give you guys some context, over the week we had a YouTuber that got DMCA'd by Square Enix. The reason for the DMCA is because the YouTuber was reading out lines from a supposed leaked script of an upcoming Tomb Raider title. Since there was never an official announcement that a Tomb Raider game was in the works, the leaked script never really had any real credibility, but once Square Enix decided to issue a DMCA to the YouTuber, we can probably assume that this leak is real, otherwise why would they bother with a DMCA? But of course, all these are just speculations and Square Enix might have just done it for shits and giggles, but if you're asking me, I would say that the leak was probably real, so for fans of the Tomb Raider series, you guys can get your hopes up a tiny bit, just a little bit. Up next, we're going to talk about some delays. Multiversus Season 1 will be delayed to the 15th of August, and the initial release date was 8th of August, so effectively a 1 week delay. Aside from that, the upcoming new character, Morty from Rick and Morty, has now also been delayed with no new release date yet. This sucks overall, but honestly, compared to some other game delays out there, a 1 week delay is honestly not that bad if you ask me. So I guess we should be thankful that it's only 1 week delay instead of a few months. The next delay we have is on Deathverse, Let It Die. The game is a free-to-play melee battle royale game that recently had their beta test, and after the beta test, the devs have decided to postpone the release date to fall of this year. So for everyone out there that wanted to play this game on release, you guys are gonna have to wait a little bit longer, but hey, at the very least you can feel good about the fact that the devs are trying to further polish the game after the beta test to ensure the quality of the game. Next, we have the delay of Marvel Midnight Suns. The game has once again been delayed and will now only be releasing in 2023. Yes, it sucks that the game has once again been delayed, but what can we do, right? Hopefully when the game is finally released, it lives up to its expectations and ends up being a solid title. Last but not least, the final delay that we have this week is Arc Raiders, which has been delayed to 2023. Honestly, I am looking forward to this title and I don't really mind that it's delayed, as I really think that this title is really cool and I want to see it succeed. So I'm absolutely supportive of the delay, as I personally want the game to be at its best shape when it's finally released. I mean, I would very much rather wait than deal with another potential Cyberpunk on release. Like, that game was terrible on release. Like, if you actually played the game, you understand what I mean. So yeah, I would rather not have to deal with that again. That's it for the delay segment. Now let's talk about some games that you can enjoy right now. Starting with 2 Point Campus. 2 Point Campus, which is now available on PS5, PS4, Xbox S and X, Xbox One, Switch, and PC, is the newest title by 2 Point Studios. Like their previous title, 2 Point Hospital, 2 Point Campus is a management game that centers around universities. The game itself is great, as they have a ton of weird and wacky concepts and courses, ranging from things like archaeology course, spy course, and even a course for knights. So yeah, a lot of interesting options to choose from. The main objective of the game itself is honestly pretty simple as well. All you have to do is ensure your students are happy and that they have good grades, while constantly expanding the campus and earning more funds from methods like excavating artifacts and stuff like that. All in all, the game looks pretty fun and it's really enjoyable for hardcore management game players, and I would even say that casual players will enjoy it a ton as well. So if you are bored and just want to have a chill time and would like to try out wacky things as well, then maybe give this game a shot. But if management games aren't your cup of tea, that's fine, as you might be interested in our next title, Cult of the Lamb. Cult of the Lamb is a roguelike game where you play as a lamb that got powers from a mysterious entity. Then with your newfound powers, you go around the map exploring and recruiting new followers into your cult. Yes, you heard that right, this game involves building a cult. The more followers you get to join your cult, the more items you will unlock. On top of that, your followers can also be used to do tasks like gathering resources and stuff, so they are pretty important to the gameplay. But of course, you have to make sure that your followers are always satisfied, because if you don't, they can and will abandon you. In terms of progressing throughout a run, the game is a lot like Slay the Spire, where you have various paths to choose from and each path will have a small icon that tells you what you can potentially get if you go down on said path, which basically gives you more options for you to choose on how your run will end up like. All in all, the game looks great and it is quite different from most other roguelikes out there, so if you are into roguelikes, I highly suggest giving it a try, and you can get the game now on PS5, PS4, Xbox Series S and X, Switch and PC. Rumbleverse is a battle royale game that looks similar to Fortnite, but it's pretty different concept-wise. The way the game works is that you are some sort of wrestling fighter and you basically go around the map collecting attacking moves that you can use to beat up your enemies. So it's basically a melee based battle royale. The game also has a stamina meter that you have to play around, because each attack will cost stamina, so if you do things correctly, you can even like one shot your enemies from 0 to 100 by doing a full-fledged combo. The best part is that the game is completely free, so I highly suggest you guys try out the game and see if you like it, since it's basically cost nothing to try out. And plus, the game looks wacky as heck, and a ton of fun to be honest. Oh boy, this game is just way too good. If you have never heard of this title before, I really suggest you take a look at some trailers to see what this game is really capable of. Spider-Man Remastered for PC, in my opinion, is a must-have because the game is honestly a masterpiece which was previously only available for PlayStation. The thing that makes this game a masterpiece includes the visuals, combat, and most importantly, the map traversal method. The visuals of this game is amazing, and the remastered version will feature even better visuals. The combat is honestly really smooth and enjoyable, but the main selling point is basically swinging across the map. The way you swing across the map is so darn smooth that you can easily spend time just swinging across the map while enjoying the beautiful scenery. To sum it up, the game is a must try if you've never played the game before. Heck, the main story of the game is pretty darn good as well, so it's definitely worth every single penny that you spend on. That's basically it for our featured releases this week, and now let's move on to our last segment, Free Things. For this week, we only have one single game, and it's from Epic Games Store. The game entitled is Cook, Serve, Delicious 3, a food management game. Make sure to get the title while it's still available. Now we have officially reached the end of our episode. I was your host for the week, Ming. Thank you so much for your time, and I hope you enjoyed the episode. We will see you guys next week with more gaming news brought to you by Game Things. Thank you so much.